Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. My name's Kristina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. We are back with another makeup declutter video, and this time we are going to be tackling my foundation, powders, primers, concealers, and random drawer. These all sit in the same drawer. You guys will see I have a ton of each one of these things, and a lot of them are not good anymore. So you're gonna see me kind of sift through all of them. I will preface and let you guys know I did not do a great job at decluttering. This video is going to be more of like a makeup collection type of video. I don't know, I just wasn't doing too great on it. But since filming this footage, I will say that a couple of the products that I did decide to keep and I was testing out throughout this week, I've realized that they smell kind of funny, like they're definitely expired. So some of these things I have since decluttered. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about these products that I'm talking about. You're gonna want to grab a snack, grab a drink, get comfy, because this is going to be a long one. All right guys, back again. Here we are, and this is going to be my powders, mascaras, concealers, primers, and foundations. They're all kind of like jumbled into one drawer because I don't have enough to fill one drawer. So for this drawer, I think how I'm going to tackle it is basically the products that I have used within the last year. Those are going to be the ones I consider, but the ones that I probably have not touched in over a year or so, those will most likely go. All of these are great products. All of these have survived other declutters. I want to just note that. I think every single one of these products are great. It's just what fits into my makeup collection now. Okay, so have that disclaimer out of the way. So we do again have little dividers, little trays here, which you probably can't even really tell because it is just an incredible mess right now. Such a mess. I guess we'll just start pulling stuff out. Let's do mascara because I feel like that will be the easiest one. Mascaras go bad way quicker than anything else. This one I'm keeping. I haven't opened this up yet. My husband picked this up for me when he was in Japan. It is a mascara base, but it comes in the shade Blue Violet. I have yet to use this. Maybelline Sky High. This is in the shade Blue Mist. It is a blue mascara. Magdalene Janet here on YouTube convinced me to buy this because it looks incredible on her, and this is pretty new. I want to say I got this in the last like 2 months, so I'm keeping this. The Live Tinted, I think this is brow gel. Yeah, Live Tinted brow gel. I kind of forgot about this. I want to keep this because I remember really liking this. It's a little bit crusty, just a little bit crusty, but I think this works well with other brow products. Like if I were to use this only to set my brows, not to actually shape them. If I use a different product to shape them and then I use this to set, it works pretty well, so I'm keeping that. These liners, they're fairly new. You guys probably saw it in my last like trying drugstore makeup video. These Juvia's Place glitter liners, I'm keeping these. A2 Dr. Mascara Fixer. This is a mascara primer almost. It's clear and it helps to essentially keep my lashes curled. I can use this with any mascara, so I like to keep this because it is a primer. Now it is pretty old, but I'm also almost out of it, so I think that I can use it up before it becomes unusable, so I'm gonna keep this. Maybelline The Falsies Surreal. This one is pretty good. I really have to work with this to make sure that my lashes stay up, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this one. This is not waterproof. I got it before they came out with waterproof. If you guys did not know this, a lot of drugstore brands will come out with their mascaras and then a couple months later come out with waterproof versions of them. So I picked this up because of the hype, and I shouldn't have done that because I don't use it. Another Asian mascara. This is the Heroin Make one, and it's actually this really beautiful purple here. Now it doesn't show up as vibrant on my lashes, but I am going to keep this. It's not that old. My husband got it for me when he went to Japan, but I didn't open it until a couple months later, so I'm going to keep this. This is one of my favorite mascara formulations. I have two of the Tower 28 Make Waves mascaras. I'm going to go ahead and toss this big one because they actually sent this to me in PR when it first launched back in 2022. I specifically remember because I was on vacation in in Seattle. It was September 2022, and this came to my door. My brother had shown me, like he sent me a picture whenever it came. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss this. It's pretty dry anyways, but I am gonna keep this mini. I had not opened this mini because I had that full size one, so this one still should be good. I really like this. It's not the best at keeping my curl, but it's also not the worst. And I just really like this formulation. It's not the best when it comes to keeping my curl up, but I enjoy it, and I don't know. I really like the brush. The Romand Hand All Fix Mascara. This is the brown version. I'm gonna keep this. It's still usable. It's still nice and wet. It doesn't smell funny or anything. Lawless, the One and Done Mascara. This one is okay, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and toss it. I'm pretty sure that they've sent me multiple of this, but I'm not a huge fan of the brush. If you can see there, the brush is very spiky and the bristles are very sparse, so it ends up kind of clumping my lashes. I do like how the tip right here is more of a ball tip, so you can kind of get into the outer corners of your lashes, but still it's not the best one for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss that. The Kaja Wink Stamp. This is the wing eyeliner stamp duo. There's a left wing and a right wing. This is fun. I like to keep this as long as this is not dried out. I just think that the novelty of this is really cool. If you can see right there, it does have that little wing, and then you just stamp it on to your eyelid, and then you just draw in the rest of the wing. So I think that's really fun. It's really neat, and I'm gonna keep that one. Two unopened mascaras here, the Jones Road Mascara and the Merit Clean Lash. I do really like the Merit Clean Lash. I don't know how old this is. It is a lengthening tubing mascara. I think I will keep this one in my collection and actually make it a point to use this, because this is not too wet for my lashes from what I can remember. It actually works pretty well for my lashes, so I'm going to keep that for a tubing option. And then the Jones Road one, I think that I had tried this. I can't even really remember. Oh, I guess I had never opened this because this brush is not ringing any bells for me. It looks kind of scary. I'm on the fence. I think I am going to let this one go though, because I haven't been curious enough to use it yet, so I don't think I will be. My Maybelline Full and Soft, this looks like a new tube. I forgot I had this, so I'm gonna keep this. This is one of my favorites. If you guys don't know, this is like the best priming mascara. If you have lashes that kind of droop down like I do, that need help with curl, this is the best when it comes to drugstore. The MAC Stack waterproof version. This kind of clumped up my lashes. I wasn't a huge fan of this. I don't really like the bristles that much, and it just didn't give me the look that I like. It does give a lot of volume, but it does tend to clump, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this, and it's pretty old as well. Benefit Fan Fest. I actually have a full size here that I have never opened because I wanted to use this one up, and I never used it. I think that this is pretty good. I can't exactly remember because this one is not waterproof, so it's not ringing any bells if this works for me or not. I want to say that it was a little heavy for my lashes, but it still kind of held a curl, but even then it just wasn't the best. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one, and I'll probably give away this full size one. The Rare Beauty Volumizing Mascara. I got this because everyone like raved about it, and I don't feel like I've given it a full chance. Maybe I will use this with my primer, my Dr. Mascara Fixer, or with my Maybelline one. I think that I had done that. I can't exactly remember. It's late, guys. It's like past midnight while I'm filming this, so maybe that wasn't the best idea when it comes to my memory, but I'm gonna keep this, give it a try, and if it doesn't work the next time I use it, then I'm gonna get rid of it. The Give Beauty Can't Stop Staring Lengthening and Lifting Mascara. I actually just got this as like a gift with purchase at Sephora, so I'm gonna keep this. I want to try it. Patrick Ta's Laminating Gel. I really enjoyed this wand, but I don't enjoy this formula, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I have this lash serum from Majolica Majorca. This is an Asian brand. It's the Lash Jelly Drops, and I'm gonna keep this one. I need to be better about putting this on my lashes daily, so I'm probably gonna move this over onto my vanity. Kosas Air Brow. I have not used this in quite a while, and if you guys are familiar with this, it does have a scent to it, so I can't exactly tell if it's bad or not, and I can't remember when I open this. Like, I'm looking at it now and it seems fine. It smells like it has some fragrance to it, but it doesn't smell off. I don't think I'm going to hold on to this because I have a good set brow routine right now. So I think I might be giving this to my sister because she does enjoy a tinted brow gel. And then we have some eyeliners here. I'm going to keep this Maybelline one because it goes with that blue mascara. I bought it at the same time, so I want to play with this. Actually, all of these are fairly new. These came from Japan when my husband had gone, so I'm gonna keep those. I just got this, I want to say like a month ago, so I'm gonna keep this one. This is the cream gel liner in the shade Power Trip. It's kind of like this purpley blue shift liner, so I'm gonna keep that. And then we have this Love Liner liquid. This is also a Japanese liquid liner. It's this really beautiful milky brown. It's a little bit reddish in tone. I need to use this, so I'm going to keep that as well. I do have these unopened mascaras. I should probably actually switch out the ones that I have on my vanity with these because I know the ones on my vanity are fairly old. Okay, I didn't do too great. Let's move on. Hopefully I do a little better with the other categories. This is my soap brow, by the way. I'm gonna keep that. That's where I keep like my Pears soap, and there's so much. What's this? Oh, this is the Huda You Deserve the Best Lashes. And it's just this little sample card. I don't think I want this. I wanted it, but now I don't think I do. So I'm gonna get rid of that. This is hard because like I said, everything I really enjoy. I do have the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I have these minis. I'm gonna keep these. I have this from the Beauty Crop. This is the Vitamin Babe Hydrating Setting Mist with vitamin C. This is pretty old. I wanna say it's about 2 years old. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. There's a ton of powders here. So let's go ahead and look at what we've got. My Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This is in the shade medium. I'm almost done with this, so I'm going to keep this. I use this pretty often, I would say. The Juvia's Place Havana Medium 2 Powder Foundation. I had meant to do a video on this and I never did. And since then, I haven't really touched it. I don't know if I will. It's a nice powder. It feels super, super buttery, but this is definitely a summer shade. And I feel like I've had it in my collection for about a year now, and I just haven't really used it. So I don't want to hold on to it just because. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this along. My Makeup Forever HD powder. I really like this one. This is the one that I did a video on, a wear test video. This is the HD Skin Matte Velvet powder, and I have the shade 2N34. If you're curious on my thoughts on this, I really like this powder, and you can go watch that full video, but I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to make it a point to use this more often. The One Size Turn Up the Base Medium 1N powder. So I really want to love this. Everyone really enjoys the One Size powders, and I am not one of them. I feel like it's kind of heavy. It's kind of cakey on my face. I don't like the finish of it. It's definitely very, very matte, and I like something that will sort of mattify my face, but also give me a natural matte where it still kind of looks dewy, and this does not do that for me. I've held on to this meaning to make it work for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one, unfortunately. My Kaleidos powders, I have a couple of these. They're face illuminators. I have tan, light, and medium. They sent this to me in PR. I really do like these formulations. I think they're super buttery and easy to work with. They're so soft and they really mattify under the eyes very well, so I'm gonna keep this. I like to keep all 3 shades, honestly, in case like I have to bounce back and forth. Huda Beauty Loose Baking Setting Powder. This is in the shade Banana Bread. Currently, this is not working for me when it comes to shade. I feel like this is going to be a lot better for me in the summertime, but I love my Huda Beauty powders. I reach for them often, so I'm keeping this. Same thing with my Fenty Beauty Invisimatte. This is just the universal shade. I like to use this for touch-ups. I've learned that I don't really like to use this because if I'm using this to touch up my oily face, this will tend to lift the makeup off of my face, so I like to actually go in with a brush, but either way, I'm keeping this one. It's a great touch-up powder. My Hourglass powder, I have the Ambient Lighting Powder in Radiant Light and Luminous Light. These are super, super old. Very old. I can't justify throwing these away. because I feel like whenever I use them, they still work really well and they don't irritate my skin. So I'm going to keep that. Here is one that I will probably be tossing. This is the Say Air Set in translucent medium. This one has always been too dark for me, even in the summertime. I was kind of hoping that it would start matching me in the summer, but it's just way too dark and I never got a lighter shade because I didn't really care for the formulation that much. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. Number 7 Triple Action Finishing Powder in the medium shade. This is supposed to be a drugstore dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury powder, but I never reach for it. I just always go for my Charlotte Tilbury one. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. It's a great powder, but I just don't really use it. Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Pillowy. This one is too dark for me. It may match me in the summer, and again, I'm almost done with this, so I think that I could finish this up in the summer and then I'll just toss it. The Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Honey. This is fairly new as well. I should probably use this, huh? I like never reach for this, but it's a baked formulation. Why don't I use this? I feel like this would be a good alternative to the Kosas Cloud Set. I'm going to try to use this. If I don't like it the next time I try it, then I'm gonna go ahead and toss it. e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This is in the medium shade. I really like this powder. I think it's so good. It is a great alternative to high-end powders, and I definitely want to keep this. It works so well with so many different foundations. I recently fell back in love with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I've been using this non-stop for the last, like, I want to say 2, maybe 3 weeks now. It is the perfect shade for me currently. It smooths my makeup so well. My skin looks airbrushed, so I'm keeping this for sure. Oma Beauty, you guys already know, one of my holy grails, keeping this guy. The Jaclyn Hill powder, the Brightening Light Banana. This was kind of cakey for me, and I held on to it because Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics is going out of business, but honestly, I just don't reach for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. My MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Dark. I always like to keep this on hand. It's just such a good powder. It's such a nice, like, blurring powder and setting powder, finishing powder, everything. So I'm keeping this one. As you can see, this is pretty well loved. This is fairly new. Again, my Huda baked powder, loose setting powder. This is in the shade Peach Pie. House Labs loose setting powder. This is in translucent. Again, I'm keeping this. It's not that old and I use it sometimes. I do like it though. Urban Decay All Nighter. This is a waterproof setting and touch-up powder. It's similar to the Fenty one, and I do really like this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. It is a little bit colored compared to the Fenty one, so this one will kind of mattify my skin but also add a little bit more coverage when it comes to color. Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This is in the shade Light. That's too light for me. This was actually gifted to me, and it's just, it makes my under eyes look ghostly. I wanted to keep this to try to make it work for me because it's such an expensive powder, but it's not going to. So I'm going to pass this on. My Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch Powder in Banana Bread. Again, currently this one is too dark, too yellow for me right now, but in the summertime, I think it may work. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. All right, those are all my powders. That is everything emptied on this side. Oh, actually, I have this little Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm gonna keep that to travel with. In here, I do have my L'Oreal tinted serum that I put into this little cushion right here, keeping that. I have a bunch of little sponges and stuff, more sponges. So I'm not going to take these out. I'm probably going to just keep them in the drawer. So if you see that, that's what those are. This is super fun. I got this during the holidays. It is the Glisten Cosmetics Split Liner Palette. You just add water to this. Oh my goodness, I can't open it. You just use this as eyeliner. They're super bright, super vibrant, so fun, and I'm going to keep these. Okay, right here, kind of lining, we do have a couple of like sunscreens and bronzing drops. These are two that I wanted to talk about, but I never really did on camera, or I kind of did in a video. The Physicians Formula and Pacifica bronzing drops. I need to use these more often. I do like these. I kind of like the Physicians Formula one more, I think. I don't remember. But I'm going to keep these. These are fairly new. I would say in the last like 2-3 months is when I picked these up. So I want to keep this in my collection. The Tula Filter Primer Blurring and Moisturizing Primer in the shade Magic Hour. This is for medium/deep skin tones. I believe this is expired. I think that I got this before I had left Ulta when I was working at Ulta. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is expired now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Jones Road Sharpener. I don't need this, I don't think, so maybe I'll just like pass this on. Oh, this is a really nice sharpener though. Wow, that is so nice. Actually, yeah, I think I'll keep that. Another random brow gel. This is the Longwear Stronghold Conditioning Brow Gel from Lawless. I love this one. This is in medium/dark, so I'm gonna keep this one as my tinted brow gel. All my other brow gels are clear, so I think I will keep just this one. We have a couple of sunscreens here. The Naturium UV Reflect Antioxidant SPF 50. I've done a YouTube short, a reel, and a TikTok on this. I really enjoy this formula, and it's still good. It says it expires November of this year, so I'm going to keep this and try to use this one up. And I have these 3 sunscreen sticks. I really like the Abib one, and I really like the Mary and May, but I think I'll go ahead and part ways with the Beauty of Joseon. This one is just a little bit more mattifying than what I like, and it leaves a little bit of a velvety silicone feeling on the skin, which is not my favorite finish when it comes to sunscreen sticks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that and keep these 2. Okay, moving on to primers. Now I'm going to have to be pretty hard because I know I'm going to want to keep all of these. If I do keep all of them, please don't hate me. The LA Girl Blurring Putty Primer. This is pretty new. I think I got this in the last month. I got this for my last like drugstore makeup try on video, and look, I only used it like once. So I'm going to keep this because I do remember really liking this. e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. I'm gonna keep this. If you know makeup, you know about this primer. I got this when they restocked it, I think at the end of last year. So yeah, I'm gonna keep her. My In Beauty products. So I really like these. The Bright and Tight Eye Cream. This one has a little bit of like a shimmer to it, and it's really beautiful under the eyes, but it kind of does the same thing as these 2 products. Like it has the same type of shimmer to the eyes or to the face, and I could use these under the eyes. I do use a separate eye cream anyways. This one I feel like is not as nourishing as I want it to be under the eyes anyways. I really would just be using this for the effect, so I think I will keep these 2. This is the bronze version of this one. This is more of just like a translucent kind of just shimmery type of product. So I'll keep these 2 and I will pass this along. e.l.f. Power Grip Primer with 4% niacinamide. I have a mini of this that I've been using, but I also have this one. I'm gonna keep this. I really like it because it does feel gripping, but at the same time it's a little bit more moisturizing than the original. I think that I may like this one a little bit more. e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I think, yeah, this is a pretty new one, as you can see. What is up with me just using it one time, like this 1 scoop? This is a new one. I'm gonna keep this. So I fell into the TikTok hype and I bought this Mayron Touch Up Anti-Shine. I thought that I liked this when I first tried it, but I quickly learned after that first application that I was not a big fan of this. It did not look as flawless on my face as I wanted it to. It kind of looked like spackle, and you could see where the concealer and foundation were sitting on top of it, so I wasn't a fan, so I'm gonna get rid of that. My Ulla Henriksen Banana Bright Vitamin CC Stick. I wanted to love this. I really did, because I love the Ulla Henriksen line, the Vitamin C line, but this one just, it didn't really do much for me. It doesn't really give me that much of a brightening effect, and wherever you put this, it kind of just like goes away. It disappears, and it's not enough to, I don't know, fix my hyperpigmentation and stuff. And also I feel like this is pretty old, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. I don't want to pass it along because I think it's older than a year, maybe like 2 years or so. So I'm pretty sure this has already gone bad. The Iconic London Illuminators. I'm pretty sure that this is expired, but but I really like this and I use it very sparingly anyways, so I don't think it would irritate my skin. I don't really have a lot of liquid highlighters that look quite like this one, and I want to keep it. I actually should move this over to my highlighters, but yeah, I think I'll keep this one for a little bit longer because it just gives such a beautiful shine. The NYX Plump Right Back Primer. This is such a good serum. It feels really moisturizing, and I like the serum-y, almost like grippy texture of this, but it's not as grippy as the e.l.f. Hydro Grip, so I really like this one. I'm going to keep this. This is pretty much like a putty primer, but in like a pump form. This is not going to be as mattifying. I feel like more concealers and foundation work on top of this one than with the e.l.f. Putty Primer. So I'm gonna keep this one because I actually genuinely really enjoy this one. Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is in the shade Medium 4. This is still good, so I'm going to keep this one. I actually have been wanting to use this and the e.l.f. one more often. I used the e.l.f. one recently, but I realized very quickly it was expired because it smelled not so great. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this into my everyday drawer, like my vanity area, so I can start using this again. The Auric Glow Lust Luminizers. These are definitely way old, but gosh, I really enjoyed these. I did not use it as often as I wanted to, mainly because I think the last year or so, I don't know, I just stopped using it. But this is such a beautiful luminizer, such a good primer. Is this bad? Gosh, it has to be, right? But I love this. This is like the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but it gives you a little extra something, and it's not as shiny. It's almost like a natural glow on the skin. It's a really good product. It's from Samantha Raw. I can't remember her last name, but yeah, it's her brand, and I really like this, but I'm pretty sure it's expired, and it makes me sad because this is pretty expensive. Beautiful bottle. I love everything about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and toss this, and maybe if I miss it, I will buy it again. My Say Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow. I love this. I'm keeping this for sure. It's a great water-based primer. So with my water-based foundations and concealers, this works lovely. And lastly, my Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. This is the hydrating one. This is definitely expired because, again, I did get this when I was leaving Ulta, and it says 24 months, but I'm pretty sure it's older than that at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of her. I don't know, it smells okay, but I also don't really want to risk it. This almost just reminded me of a moisturizer. It's good, but this one I feel like isn't really necessary. That actually does smell kind of funny now that I like put it on my hand. Okay, we did all right. We didn't do great, but now we're gonna move on to this. This is concealers and stuff. I'll tell you guys right now, a lot of these are fairly new, so I don't think I'll get rid of them. Starting with the Fenty We're Even Hydrating Concealers. These I got in PR, and I also bought a couple of them, so I'm gonna keep them. I got like, I think 4 of them or 3 of them in PR, and then I bought 2 of them on my own, so I'm gonna keep these. I really like them. I like mixing them. They're very nice hydrating concealer. You definitely do have to set them though. These Jones Rose face pencils. These don't really work for me. I don't think they're a great shade for me. I have shade 14 and shade 12, and I just need a lot more coverage than these can give me, so I'm gonna pass these along. The NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. This is in the shade Golden. I've never been able to find a good match of this concealer, and it makes me really sad because I do like this formulation, but yeah, I just don't ever reach for it because the color is just a little bit off, so I'm gonna get rid of her. I just have to remember I have a lot of concealers that I have to use up. So Tower 28, I love this concealer. They are water-based concealers, and they work great with water-based primers and foundations, and I've learned that I love these mainly to use in place of foundation instead of with foundations. So if I need to do some quick swatching of like blushes or something, then I'll use this instead of going in with foundation and concealer. This is kind of like a 2-in-1 for me, so I use these more often than I thought I would. I really enjoy these, so I'm keeping them. My Live Tinted Color Corrector. This one is in the shade Rise. I never reach for this. I feel like it's a little too dark to be a color corrector for my skin tone, so I'm gonna pass this along. The Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer. This is fairly old. It's a really good concealer, really full coverage, but it's a little bit too dark for me. I think it's always been a little bit too dark for me. It's very old, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of her. Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in the shade Caramel Corn. I actually have this in a different shade that I have in my Everyday Vanity, and I bought that one after I had bought this one and realized that this is too dark for me, and I never got a chance to like switch it out or return it. So I was always like, oh, I'll mix it and make it work, but I never did. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of her. The Milani Supercharge Brightening Under Eye Tint in 120 Peach. This was too thin for me. I like a little bit more of a creamy formulation when it comes to color correctors, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. Bye Bye Under Eye in the shade 25 Medium Natural. Again, I got this at Ulta before I left. I never reached for this. This is very full coverage, but it's a little bit drying under the eyes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. 2 e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brighteners. These are nice, but they're very thin. I think I'll give them another try. I think that I need to use this on like a very no makeup type of day versus try to use this on like my more heavy makeup days. So I'm gonna keep these, try them out a little bit more. I have a random putty bronzer. This is the Luminous Putty Bronzer in Sun Chaser. Do I like this? Why is this here? I actually like that. I don't know why it's sitting in here, but I'm gonna move it over to my bronzing drawer. The Smashbox and Becca Color Corrector. This is in the shade Medium. I got this on a recommendation from an old coworker from Ulta. I use quite a bit of this actually. I think I want to try using this again. I have just been loving my Bobbi Brown color corrector, but I feel like this one would be a good one to kind of like cycle through. So I'm going to put this in my everyday drawer. Glossier Stretch Concealers. I have the dark and the medium 5. One of these is older than the other, but I don't know. I think it might be this one. I'm pretty sure this is a newer one. Yeah, this one definitely looks newer. I'm going to keep this one in medium 5. They did adjust their shade range, so I think that's like the new shade. And this is my old shade, so I'm going to throw that away. I have a blue color corrector and a peach color corrector from e.l.f. I like to keep these on hand. Ooh, my Kosas concealer in 6.2N. Now I got this because I thought it would be a better match, but actually I've been using 6 and 6.5 more. I don't know. Is this too dark for me? I think this is a good summer shade. Look, I don't think I've even really used this. Oh, wait, no, I think this will work. I'm keeping that and my Anastasia number 11 Magic Touch Concealer. I like this. It's very full coverage, so I don't reach for it often, but I kind of forgot I had this. So I want to use this and I want to use this. Moving on to a couple more concealers. We have them like bunched into here because I ran out of room in this one. Another Kosas concealer. This is in 6.50. I think I have shade 6, 6.5, and 6.2, so I'm gonna keep it because this is my favorite concealer, and I guess I really like having like the different ones. I don't know. Urban Decay Quickie Concealer 50NN. Keeping this. I love this. I think it's such a good concealer, and it's also a great alternative for a foundation. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't love this the way that everyone else loves it. This is not like my holiest of holy grail, but I always want to make it work. I always am like, I want to try to make this a holy grail, and I don't know, it just doesn't work. I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna use it like one time. If it doesn't work for me, if I'm still not in love with it, I'm gonna pass it on. No harm, no foul. The Rare Beauty Brightener. This one, guys, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I was never super in love with this. I kind of felt like, well, if I'm gonna brighten my under eyes, I'm just gonna use a brighter concealer shade on top of a regular, like, my skin shade concealer, and this just felt like an unnecessary extra step for me. I do like the applicator. I think that this like cooling tip is really nice. It feels great. I was never a huge fan of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and let her go. Dior concealer that I got during the Sephora sale. Look at that. It's like settled. I used this so much, but then I got the House Labs concealer and it kind of took the place of that. I should really use this more often, so I'm gonna keep that. And my Ami Cole concealer in medium 2.5. Again, this is like another thing that kind of just got stuck in the drawer whenever we had that giant release of a bunch of different concealer brands come out like last fall, and I really liked this. I remember really enjoying this, so again, I'm going to try to use this in my next like couple videos. Milk Concealer 15 NW. I like this. I wasn't sure about this at first, but I actually really like this. It's a thicker consistency. It's a little bit more full coverage. And I like to keep a couple of full coverage type of concealers, so I'm gonna keep this one. Makeup by Mario. This one is so tough because I was like not a huge fan. But I also want to make it work again. Oh gosh, I just don't know. I kind of kept it because I wanted to do more videos with it, and I think I'm done using it in video, so I think I'm gonna pass her on. My Rose Ink Concealers. I need to give these more of a try. I used them a couple times, and again, I forgot about them because of all the new concealers that came out. Another case of I'm going to try this. I don't remember being super blown away by this, so we'll see. I feel like I always end up with a Tarte Shape Tape, but this is the Radiant one, and I actually really liked this. I remember really enjoying this. I don't like the original anymore. I do think the Radiant one is a lot better, so I'm gonna keep that. Am I even getting rid of any concealers? I don't think so. Sephora Best Skin Ever Full Coverage Multi-Use Concealer 22.5N. I heard so many good things about this. It's a great brightening concealer. It's a great alternative for the Huda Beauty concealer, honestly. Look how bright that is. Should I try this under my eyes like as a brightening shade? I think I should. I'm pretty sure that I just completely forgot about all these concealers. Oh, okay, so these are some color correctors, and I've been wanting to play around with these again, so I'm gonna move these over to my everyday. This is the Exa High Fidelity color corrector and the Huda Beauty color corrector. These are both very beautiful, very lovely, so I'm going to start using these again. Another Kosas concealer. Are we surprised? Are we actually surprised? This is in 4N, and I believe that I got this as like a free gift, and I wanted to use this as a brightening shade, keeping her, obviously. My Armani concealer, I've been wanting to reach for again. This is in the shade 6. I'm gonna keep it. I'm doing so bad. I pretty much kept all my concealers except for one. Oh, here's one that I can get rid of. The Say concealer. I don't know why I've kept this for so long. It's greasy, it's oily. I never really liked this one. I'm very curious about the new concealer, but I'm gonna go ahead and toss this one. Okay, I guess we're gonna move on to foundations, which is everything over here. These are foundations, and I will tell you guys again, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of a lot of them. So please be warned, we're just kind of going over my makeup collection at this point. Okay, let me pull out the ones that I always use anyways, so we can get those out of the way. The Hourglass Hydrating Tint, this is fairly new. I got this during the holidays, so I'm keeping this. Iconic London Super Smoother Blurring Skin Tint. I don't feel like enough people talked about this, but it's really good. You know, I think I'm gonna keep all my skin tints because I do plan on doing a full video, so I'm keeping Summer Fridays Fenty Beauty, Tower 28 Skin Tint. Oh, I have this luminizer from Fenty as well. I'm gonna keep this, put it in the primer section. Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I'm gonna keep this. They recently sent this to me actually, and I've been actually really enjoying it, so I'm gonna keep her. My Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. I really don't reach for this often, but again, I'm gonna keep my skin tints and tinted moisturizers for a video, but honestly afterwards, I'm probably gonna toss this one. I have these from Nude Sticks. They're the Tinted Blur Foundation Sticks. These are both too dark for me. It's Nude 6 and Nude 9. They just don't really work for me, so I'm gonna pass it on. I wasn't crazy about this formula either. The Fenty stick, I'm gonna keep this. I have it in the shade 11. I love this. It's such a good stick foundation. I think it's lovely. The Glossier foundation, this is rather new. I bought this to do a wear test on. You can see it on my channel. I'm gonna keep this. I have the shade medium 5. Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm, shade 6. I had to go through a couple shades, I'm not gonna lie. This one currently is way too dark for me, but when I exchanged it, it was because the shade, I think 4, was way too light for me. It's kind of blending into my arm, but I think it's too dark for my face right now. But I'm gonna keep it for the summertime. And I wanna do like a shop my stash and use this again. It's really good. And you can see I haven't used a ton of it because I had shade 4 and then I exchanged it for shade 6, and now it's just too dark for me. But come summer, I am going to be using this. Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 6.5. I'm going to keep that. Kosas Revealer Foundation. I like this one, actually. People were talking about how, like, Kosas products were going bad really quickly and all that. I checked all mine. They seem fine. Look at that. That's so funny looking. They do have quite a bit of a perfume scent to them, which I've never been a huge fan of, but it's still good. It still works. Dior, gonna keep this. Obviously a little too dark for me right now, but again, come summer, I'ma use it. Sephora Best Skin Ever. Okay, I think I can actually get rid of this. I tried to love this, but it's a little too matte for what I like. I have so many foundations that I just would rather use above this, so I'm going to pass this along. The Bare Minerals Skin Perfecting Matte Liquid Foundation. They sent this to me quite recently. I have the shade Medium 30 Neutral. They sent me 3 shades and this is the one that I kept. I need to play around with this a little bit more, but again, it's a very matte foundation, but I actually feel like this would work really well during the summer. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit more and then I'll decide if I actually want to keep it in my collection. Ciel Skin Tint. This is a different shade. I have my everyday shade Tan in my everyday Vanity, and this is number 8 Medium Honey. I'm gonna keep this because this is my summer shade and I love this tint. My NARS Soft Matte Foundation. This is in Medium 5 Valencia. This is probably bad. It's probably so old. No, it's 24 months. I think this is still okay then. Keeping this, such a good foundation. Where is my other one? Oh, here. The NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in Barcelona. I like this one more than I like this. This is a great summertime one. This is a great all-around one. I'm pretty sure this is what my makeup artist used on me on my wedding day. So I can't get rid of this because I love it. It's so good. I'm keeping both. Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear 355N. I don't know why I kept this in the package. This is at the time that I used this. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. The one I'm thinking of is this one. So I really like this. It's very dewy, so it's probably not made for my skin type. I have oily skin, but I still really enjoyed this one. It's 335W, and this was like the best shade match that I had ever found in a foundation when I had tried it. I don't know, I don't remember how I feel about this one, and because I don't remember, I think I'll pass it on. I think my mom would really like this, so I'm going to give that to her. The Safe Foundation is really nice. This is a water-based foundation, and I don't have a lot of water-based foundations. The Basma stick, I forgot that I had this, and honestly, I barely have used this, so I need to use this. I just get really stuck into the foundations that I use every day. I just forget about this drawer, to be completely honest. My It Cosmetics CC Cream in Medium Tan. This used to be my holy grail. It's still a really good product, but I'm going to be so real with you guys right now. I can't remember the last time I reached for this or this, but I really liked this one, so I'm gonna get rid of this one, the original, and just keep the Nude Glow. And the Charlotte Beautiful Skin, this, like, look at this. It's so old, actually. I really liked this, but I'm actually very curious about the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. Everyone talks about that one, so I think I'll go ahead and part ways with this one. It looks super orange for me anyways, even though it says it's a neutral. It's just super separated too. I used this for a long time and I really liked it, but I think I can get rid of it now. I'm not attached to it. Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. This is one of my absolute favorite foundations. It's in the shade 8. I wear this all the time, so I'm keeping that. Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection in the shade Light Medium 11. I think I got this from like Marshalls, or I got it as a gift, and I never wanted to get rid of it. But I don't think the shade works for me, which is why I've like never used it. Yeah, look at that. I was always like, I'll mix it with a color corrector and make it work. There's no. Like, no. Yes, I could do that, but am I going to? Have I? No, I have not. So this is going to go, and I'm just going to buy my actual shade of this, you know? Like, I just need to get rid of it. I have a bunch of these LA Girl Pro Color mixing pigments, and I'm going to keep these because I mean, I have them, they're inexpensive, they're all still fine. And I think these are an important thing to have on hand. Oh my gosh, my MAC Fix Plus. I have not reached for this in so long. It's probably expired, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I never use this anymore. And this used to be my go-to every time I would do my makeup, but my makeup style has just kind of changed. Oh, the Revolution Skin Silk in the shade F10. I really like this. This is a good foundation. I'm gonna keep that. About Face, this is pretty new. I featured this in my last drugstore makeup try-on video. NYX Bear With Me Blur in the shade 11 Medium Neutral. This is too dark for me right now, but I really like this in the summertime for a full coverage look, so I'm gonna keep her. See, I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to use this as much as I want to. To be honest, from what I remember, this did not blow me away, but I do think I need to give it more of a chance, so I'm gonna keep that. I also got the full size of the Rose Inc Skin Enhancing Luminous Tint. I used 2 of the mini ones of this and I really liked it, so I got the full size. So I'm gonna keep that. I really like this for summer or like no makeup looks. e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream. I think I liked this, but I also don't use it. It's light 280N. I'm gonna watch back my old video and see like my thoughts on this, but honestly, I never reached for it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Amicole Skin Tint. Again, I'm keeping my skin tints. This is in the shade Medium 2. Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. Oh, this is expired. It says 10/22. The Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. I have the shade Dune 7.5. Again, I got this from Ulta when I worked there. It's probably bad, but would you guys consider this a skin tint? Should I keep this for my skin tint video? Let me know in the comments down below. If you don't consider this a skin tint or tinted moisturizer, and you don't care to see it in the video, then I'm just gonna get rid of it because I'm really only gonna hold on to this for the video. And lastly, my Juvia's Place Eye Magic Natural Radiance Foundation in the shade Caracas 505. Again, I meant to do a video on this, I never did. This will be passed on because I'm not really too interested in opening another foundation. All right, guys, we are completely done with this drawer, this foundation, primer, powder, mascara drawer. I didn't do too great, I'm gonna be honest. I only got rid of like a handful of things. However, I think it has given me a little bit of room to reorganize this and also put in new products that I've recently purchased. So yeah, that is that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Less of a makeup declutter and more of a makeup collection. Alright guys, so I got a lot of requests to show you the final drawer. I had not done that in the first, like the part 1, where I did my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. So I wanted to show you guys our foundation, powder, concealer, primer drawer that we just did. I kind of just put everything back into their original containers, but you can see we have a lot more space now. So here is that drawer. As you can see right here, we have a lot more space where all of those powders are. And by the way, this container is just something that I found from Home Goods, and I believe it's for like cans. So it was perfect for powders. We do still have our mascara eyeliner tray, and I do have those extra mascaras there. And that one container that I was able to kind of empty, I just have like all my sponges in there now. And of course the primers, and we move over here and we see the foundations. So these are all the foundations I kept, and our concealers right here. So I was able to just put all the concealers that I kept in the same acrylic tray with more of like the skin tints. So this is like easier skin tints, more sheer coverage foundations. We have the concealers right next to that. And then we have our miscellaneous foundations right there. So yeah, there's a lot more room here. And I just also want to say that I do have a lot more products when it comes to foundations, concealers, powders, and all of that stuff. And even like bronzers and blushes, I have them in a separate container on top of my vanity. Those are like my everyday ones, the ones that I cycle through more often. So I would say like from all of the products, maybe add, I don't know, 3 to 5 more of that category I still own more, but this is our like overflow drawer. I am very pleased with it. I think I have a lot more space, and yeah. I also got lots and lots of requests in the part 1 video to show you guys the final drawer of my blushes, bronzers, highlights. So this is kind of where we landed. There's no more stacking on top when it comes to the blushes. I mean, there's a lot more space here with all of our bronzers. And then the highlights are nicely lined up right there. Again, no overflow there. I am very, very pleased with the organization of this. I feel like I can clearly see all of my products now. And just in general, it just looks cleaner, and it is not as intimidating for me to actually go in here and reach for these products. So I'm super happy with the way that this turned out. And again, I do have more products, more overflow that sit on top of my everyday vanity and on my everyday vanity like organizer thing. So I would say add like 5 of each category here. So yeah, that's just the little side note. Alright guys, that is everything for this declutter video. We still do have eyeshadows to go through. We also have both of my lip drawers to go through. That one is going to be very, very difficult for me to part with those products. So it's going to be a journey. Come along with me if you guys have been enjoying this little makeup declutter series. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.